Now and have a look at race number 8. It's again a 1,000 metre race, but this time it is a Class 3. And we have the field lining up as follows. Special M resumes on the back of 3 trials. Harmony Fire has the shadow roll going on. Dragon Admiral, a first starter for Richard Gibson, was Sudoku out of Australia. Won over 1,100 at Ballarat and 1,200 at Sale for Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. California Deeply raced under the same name for the Snowden partnership. Won over 1,100 metres at Warwick Farm. We've got Savvy Delight resuming on the back of 2 trials. Super Eagle comes back to the 1,000 and High Rise Soldier, both of his wins have been at 1,200 metres. The first of the speed maps, Tom, we had a good to fast tempo. This one is more good than fast.
Yeah, but there should be plenty of pace in this with the Super Axiom. He's one of the quickest horses here in Hong Kong from the gates. He's put on a bit of weight since his last effort. He's drawn 11 here. He was due to line up the other day, drawing 10, so he's not too much further out. Heroic Master should get a good run through. He's drawn at midfield. There won't be wide this time round, you'd say, Paul. California Deeply's got some speed, and Harmony Fire, he hasn't fared well with the draws this week.
No, he's going to find a lot tougher from that draw. He did draw 1 the other day, but drawn barrier 8 here. Special M, he drew wide the other day. He's drawn 12 this time, so no luck for him, and he'll be looking for some cover, I think. Look, horses like Classic Posh will get back. Now, the first starter's Dragon Admiral in Hong Kong hasn't shown too much speed, whereas California Deeply has in his trial, so he'll be a lot closer to the pace.
Heroic Master is where we focus, though. He is horse number 5 there on the speed map. He raced wide on debut. He's got a better draw this week, and his trainer is Frankie Law.
Frankie, Heroic Master made a very pleasing debut here in Hong Kong. Missed out on a run last week, but he goes back to Happy Valley. Are you happy with him?
Yeah. Last week he drew 6. This week draw 3, a bit better.
Just on, before we touch upon the draw, go back to his debut run. That must have been a really pleasing run for you and the connections, because he really knuckled down and wasn't beaten far behind a good horse.
Yes, first start, only 7 runners, but he drew 7. So he a little bit unlucky. He's all the way 3 deep, but he still won good. So this time he got a better draw. I think he should be better chance. Yeah.
You mentioned the draw, of course. Obviously, always a good thing to have a nice draw at Happy Valley. Do you think that's crucial to him, that he needed that good draw?
I think in Happy Valley, I think better draw inside should be better, because more easier for the jockeys. Yeah.
Talking of your jockey, you've got Zach Purton on as well. That's obviously got to be a plus.
Yeah. I put him on get up 2 times. He's also said it's good, the horse, good form, yeah.
And just to sort of elaborate on Zach's opinion of the horse, was he of the opinion that he's a horse that can sort of maybe creep up through the grades, possibly?
I think so, yeah.
He clearly is a nice horse for your stable, and one that I'm sure you're looking forward to. I wanted to ask you about A Pal, who won on the weekend. I mean, that visually, Frankie, was very impressive.
Yes, you can see when he got a good draw, it's more easy for some new horse. So he traveled good behind the leader, and so that's why they give him 10 points.
Yeah, no, the handicapper hasn't missed him. What would be the plan going forward with him, Frankie? I mean, obviously you're going to try and aim, I suppose, for slightly better targets. What is the plan in your mind with a horse like A Pal?
So I will give him 1,400 first, and then to see he can win or not. You know, he only have a 4-year-old. Maybe if still keep improve, maybe looking for the 4-year-old series, yes.
Frankie Law there talking about A Pal and Heroic Master. We'll talk more about Heroic Master soon, because Paul's going to make a strong case for him. We move on, though, to some others in this race, Paul. And Sergeant Pepper, he comes back up in grade. He struggled when he does come up in Class 3 previously, but he is going better now than recently in this grade.
Yeah, he just got nutted here, didn't he? He was right on the post. The bob went against him. So it was a good run from him. Like, you're right, he's up in grade, but he's drawn nicely in barrier 5. There's a lot of pace in front of him. I think he should get a nice bit of cover. So I did include him.
He's fared slightly better this week with the barrier draws there as well. He was 7 last week. He's 5 here. Thought he had every chance last time out. He was right on the cusp of making it in, but didn't.
We saw this replay on the last week's show that was the show for nothing, Tom, with Special M trialling up at Chung Fa. He runs second in this trial, and it was behind the rock.
Yeah, it's coming into this Special M with a last rating win of 68, so he's still quite high up in the points here. I just wonder about him fresh, Paul. Nothing wrong with the recent trials, and the barrier looks tricky as well.
Yeah, barrier 12, I thought with all his pace underneath him might find it a little bit hard, so look, I didn't quite get him in.
All right, he's had those 3 trials, has Special M. He's yet to place first up in 2 starts and has a run down the track on both of those occasions. Down in grade 2, Special M, but from barrier number 12, Hemlin and Size, they combine. We move on to California Deeply. You mentioned he showed some pace in the trials. This the one he showed the most pace, Paul, because he led all of the way in this.
He's had 3 trials. I thought all 3 trials have been pretty good, actually. 1,061 pounds, so he's really forward for a good run here. The stable's going nicely. Tony Cruz, tongue tie on for his debut, so I've included him.
Yeah, he's looked good. I thought in his most recent trial he was up on the pace. When he did win in Australia, he was just off the speed, sat second or third there, and I think he's forward enough for a bold showing here. First up, California Deeply. It's
a good report for California Deeply. And another of the first starters here, Tom, Dragon Admiral. He runs 4th, but Harmony Fire, who's had a couple of trials, he's looked impressive this time in.
He has. His trial here at Happy Valley I thought was really good with the shadow roll on. He sports the shadow roll for the first time on Wednesday night. He's up a bit in body weight here, but kicked away nicely on the turn. It's just the wide draw that was a little negative, but certainly want to keep him safe because he does have some ability.
Yeah, look, I did include him last week from barrier 1, but I'm going to leave him out from 8. I just think with the pace underneath him, carrying that weight, and as Tom said, he is up a little bit in body weight. I'm happy to watch him in this.
Sylvester de Souza fresh off a full-timer on the weekend. Now, we didn't talk about Heroic Master because you're about to make a strong case for him.
Yeah, look, I just thought it was a really good debut run. He trialled really well leading into it. He was 3 wide all the way, got absolutely no luck. He's drawn barrier 3. And so from barrier 3, he's going to get right in behind the pace. We know Super Axiom should lead. He does in all his starts. So if he can just sit in behind, I think he's going to get every opportunity. And I think he can win. So tongue tie on him. So he's on top. Oh, no, he's not. Yeah, he's got the tongue tie on. Yeah, so he's on top from California Deeply, who has got the tongue tie on for the first time. I did like those trials. Thought he trialled really well. Sergeant Pepper's got a nice draw. He should get a nice run. And with this pace on it, look, I'm going to put Savvy Delight in. He comes in here with a lightweight. Barrier number 2, I think he can be running on strongly. So 5, 6, 8 and 9 for me.
Yeah, there was a lot to like about that first up run from Heroic Master. Covered ground, but still stayed on it at the end. Only beaten 3/4 of a length behind Pinghai Galaxy, and he improved off the back straight and still stayed on pretty well after that to Heroic Master. So he's drawn nicely here. Barrier 3 with Zach Purton on board. Harmony Fire, yes, there's a couple of negatives. The wider store, a little bit of body weight that he's got to carry in, 129 pounds, but he's certainly got the ability to do so. I think does Harmony Fire. California Deeply, former Snowden galloper, son of Deepfield. He's just a 3-year-old winner at Warwick Farm prior to arriving here, and then was down the track at Randwick, beaten 4 lengths. But his effort in the trials, I think, has looked pretty good from California Deeply. And the 11 Super Eagle, not prepared to drop off him yet. First up run was fairly quiet, and then last time out got a bit keen going into that first turn, but he is drawn nicely here in barrier 1, so don't want to drop off for him, although he's on a rating of 61. So 5, 2, 6 and 11.
Super Eagle coming back from his first 2 starts in Hong Kong over the 1200, one over the 1400 at Pakenham, 1450 at Kilmore. He did place over 1100 metres at Ararat, did Super Eagle.